the end of the night, oh. And we all got dreams. We all want things.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
So, let me get this straight. Let me try to wrap my head around this fully. The NFL actually thought it was a good idea to saddle up the Minnesota Vikings and take them to back-to-back international games. In different countries, across the pond, back-to-back weeks, Dublin 1 week, London the next week. That's not a schedule. That's a travel agency experiment gone wrong. And the league is spinning it like it's some kind of historic opportunity. Please, let's call it what it is. It's a money grab. It's global growth PR BS. You're telling me the Minnesota Vikings should be grateful or privileged for living out of a suitcase for the next 10 days while trying to prepare for actual NFL opponents? They should be hyped about the logistic challenges and branding opportunities. Newsflash, fans in Dublin, fans in London don't make of the fact that these players are getting yanked out of their rhythm, their families, and stuck in a hotel. And this so-called home field advantage is literally being stripped away from them. Neutral site crowds don't give us what the U.S. roar needs when a third down stop is needed. And yeah, sure, the Vikings ownership is smiling because it looks great for the brand, right? It's growing the business. While their guys are dealing with meltdowns, sunlight therapy, and food trucks just to survive the trip. Do you guys realize how insane this sounds? They need nearly 7,000 meals shipped across an ocean, 100-page equipment manifest just to play football. That's not a competition. That is not a competitive balance. That's a circus. Meanwhile, the NFL pats itself on the back like it's groundbreaking. What we're learning that flying across multiple dime zones, dealing with passports, customs, and a practice facility setups down the screw is exactly continuing peak performance? Shocking. It's almost like the league cares more about the international ticket sales than actual product on the field. Guys, here's the bottom line. This is a bad precedent. Today it's 2 games in Ireland and England. Tomorrow is 3 across Europe, maybe 1 in Australia. But before we know it, a team is playing an entire September away from home. It's not fair to players. It's not fair to fans who lose home games. And it sure the hell isn't about a competitive advantage. It's about cash, period. Straight cash, homie. And the Vikings are the guinea pigs. You want to grow the game international? Fine. Send preseason games over there. Send offseason showcase. Ship away real games from the home fields that bumped this chaos in the roster because the Minnesota Vikings stumbles after this trip. Don't tell me it's not related. The NFL has made its bed, and the Vikings are the ones just sleeping in it. Melatonin and all. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation, guys? Welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, and uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you guys are with us today. Before we jump into today's show, guys, head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you find the exclusive merchandise, the freshest of the fresh blogs, and everything happening with the show. If you're rocking the Man Hour, guys, then it's a spot to rep it. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit that like button, hit the hype button as well, share and subscribe with and share this with a couple friends, and of course subscribe as well. Make sure you never miss a live interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged into us. All right, guys, remember this is a live interactive show. So drop your thoughts, drop your opinions, or drop your takes in the comments down below because I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you from DMVZO. What's up, DMV? Oh, welcome back, man. First of all, welcome back. Hope you're having a good old day, man. Hope you're having a good old day. It's week 4 NFL Power Rankings show. We're going to talk a little bit about CJ Gardner-Johnson getting cut. Get out of here. Seattle versus Arizona Cardinals. We got to talk about that. And then we got some fact or crap and some cold, hard facts, baby. The cold, hard facts is Tom Brady is still a cheater. Speaking of cheaters, Old Man River's in the chat. I'm just playing with you, man. Old Man River is a pigskin pundit, guys.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
You guys can be like Old Man River and hit the subscription or the membership tab down below, guys. That is the full man-hour experience. You get some free merchandise. You get the behind-the-scenes footage. You get the afternoon drive. And then you get free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems. So be like Old Man River, guys, and become a pigskin pundit. He says, what's up? What's up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? My man, Alpha Rob, says, keep the games in the United States of America. Keep them in the good old US of A. Especially regular season games, Alpha Rob. Keep the regular season games in the continental United States. I don't want to go to Alaska. I don't want to go to Hawaii. I don't want to go to Cuba or whatever, right? Keep it in the continental 48 United States. Hell, I didn't even want to go to the UP. UP is too far north. Keep it below Michigan, above Texas, from Kansas to Ohio, right there. right there in the Midwest. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, definitely keep home games or the regular season in the continental United States. DMV says, do you think CJ Gardner returns to Philly? Do you think he returns to Philadelphia? That is tough, guys, but let's talk about a huge surprise right there out of Houston. Right there at a good old heart of America, Houston, Texas. Guys, the Texans have released safety CJ Gardner-Johnson just 3 weeks into this NFL season. That's right. The same CJ Gardner-Johnson that they traded for back in March, sending away a 2022 first-round pick, Kenyon Gray, to the Philadelphia Eagles. The idea was to bring in a proven ball hawk, a guy who had 6 interceptions last season on the Super Bowl run with Philly. Instead, he has turned into a complete disaster. In just 3 starts with the Houston Texans, guys, CJ Gardner-Johnson posted 15 tackles. Not one interception, not one pass breakup, and a whole lot of blown coverages. Coach DeMarco Ryans has been preaching communication in that secondary all season long, and honestly, it's been one of the biggest issues. Ryans flat out admitted it. When you see a big play that happens on our defense, somewhere along the lines of bust in communication. It happens. Guess who is in the middle of those busts more often than not? CJ Gardner-Johnson. Guys, let's break it down week by week. The blow-in coverages by CJ. Week number 1 against the LA Rams. The Houston Texans lose 14-9. Pretty close game, right? Matthew Stafford finds Davis Allen in the corner of the end zone to win the game. That's Gardner-Johnson Jr.'s Gardner-Johnson's man. He bites on the wrong coverage, and corner Lester tries to clean it up, but it's a little too late. Touchdown Rams. Lose the game. Week number 2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Houston Texans lose 20-19. They're in cover 2. Gardner-Johnson is responsible for the deep right half of the field. Instead of staying disciplined, he jumps a 10-yard route. Baker Mayfield immediately attacks a deep ball. Touchdown, Ryan Miller. Another game lost because of one bad decision. Now, week 3. Tied late in the 4th quarter. It's 10-10. CJ Gardner-Johnson is supposed to cover anything over the middle. Instead, he jumps an out route. Trevor Lawrence hits Brian Thomas on a 46-yard bomb. Jacksonville scores a play later. Texans lose 17-10. 3 straight weeks, 3 straight losses, 3 straight blown coverages. And each one of those is connected to CJ Gardner-Johnson not doing his job. And look, I get it. Mistakes happen. I'm a defensive coordinator. Mistakes happen every single play, but here's the kicker. Sources inside that locker room say CJ Gardner-Johnson never took any accountability. Instead of owning up, he was pointing fingers. Nothing rubs teammates the wrong way more than a guy who messes up, causes in the game, and act like it's somebody else's fault. So now the Texans are sitting at 0-3. Same as the Titans, who lost a host on Sunday, right? Both teams desperate for the first win. Houston clearly decided they'd rather move on with without CJ Gardner-Johnson than keep letting him drag down their secondary. Guys, here is my take. I get why the Texans made the move. You can't let one player poison the communication, the trust, and the accountability of your defense. But I'm going to get real with you. Trading away Kenyon Green for a rental that lasted 3 games is a brutal look in the front office. If they don't find a way to get a win column soon, that move is going to sting even more. But here's a question for you guys. Did the Texans make the right move, make the right decision of releasing CJ Gardner-Johnson this early? Or should they have given it a little bit more time to figure it out? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here on YouTube.com. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below and let's hear your thoughts. DMV says, do you think CJ Gardner-Johnson returns to Philly? I'm going to say absolutely no. Absolutely no. There's a reason why the Philadelphia Eagles were so willing to just part ways with him after a great Super Bowl run. CJ Gardner-Johnson does have talent, but there's also a reason why he's been on 3 teams in 3 years and just got cut by the Houston Texans, and nobody is gathering interest around him. When it's always somebody else's fault, never your fault, it's time to look into the mirror, right? It's time to look into the mirror. This person did it. This person did it. This person did it. This person did it. This team didn't want me. This team didn't want me. This team doesn't want me. Look at the mirror. The Philadelphia Eagles right now are arguably the best team in the NFC. When we do power rankings in here in just a minute, you are going to see that the Philadelphia Eagles are arguably the best team in the NFC. They don't need help on defense. They don't need help on offense. All they need to do is mind their P's and Q's, cross their T's, dot their I's, and show up to work every day, and they'll be just fine. He is a cancer in the locker room. He needs to check his ego until, if he ever wants to get on the team ever again. So I am with you. I hope he doesn't go back to the Eagles just to open other players' eyes a little bit. Like, hey, if you're an egotistical asshole, there's no spot for you in the NFL, no matter how good you are. And arguably right now, you can say right now he's not playing very well football. 15 tackles, 0 pass breakups, 0 interceptions. That's not a very good look. Now, you can say stats lie to you, teams are throwing the other way, yada, yada, yada. Clearly, they're not. They're attacking him down the middle of the field. They're attacking him in the corners. They know he wants to get the interception, pump fake it, and get deep. It is what it is. Old Man River, says he doesn't want CJ Gardner-Johnson to go back to the Eagles either. Old Man River, are you suggesting that CJGC goes to the Las Vegas Raiders? Is that what I'm am I reading between the lines a little too much there? You want him to come to your team and make your team even more of a disaster? Because when you guys, there's going to be a trend today. Micah Parsons, Tyreek Hill, Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, CJ Gardner-Johnson. There's going to be a trend of these players that we talk about today. There's a reason why they would only fit on a Super Bowl caliber team. There's a reason why if a team decides to pick him up, it is going to be a need, not a want. Yeah, we could use you, but we don't need you. We're perfectly fine where we're at. So if a team were to pick up a CJ Gardner-Johnson, it would be a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, honestly. It would be a team like potentially the Detroit Lions. Go back there, right? Let's just be clear. I don't think any of those teams decide to pick him up. Let's just be honest. But at the same time, those are going to be the teams that even should entertain the idea, right? That should even entertain the idea. Is a Super Bowl caliber team, so his ego can get put in check. Alpha Rob says, they're trying to build up a Super Bowl in another country. If they do it, Alpha Rob, I swear to God, I'll kick you straight in the throat. If the Super Bowl is played in European, actually, I don't really care. Send the Super Bowl over there. I don't care. I'm never going to be able to afford to go to the Super Bowl. Whatever, send it over there. Old Man River says, CJ Gardner-Johnson is simply put is a head case. He's not a head case. He's an ego-filled asshole, what it comes down to. That is exactly what it comes down to. He's an ego-filled asshole. And Alpha Rob says maybe he wanted to get out of Houston. Potentially. When you go from a Super Bowl caliber team and then to a team like the Houston Texans that is dog shit bad, potentially, yes. And we heard his post-game, we've heard his interviews, right? We've heard interviews of him saying, oh, I'm so sad that the Eagles and I broke up. I'm so sad that they didn't want me, whatever. Potentially. But you would think if he wanted out of Houston, he would have probably gathered up some interest before saying, hey, I want out. Reaching out to a couple of his buddies. Like, hey, man, I see you guys are 2-1 here. You guys think you need a safety? Like you have to plant seeds before you knock down the cornfield. You know what I'm saying? Wes is in the chat. What's up, Wes? He says CJ is a crybaby. But yet, you want CJ back in New Orleans, don't you? Wes is a Saints fan. And guess what, guys? Alvin Kamara is going to the Kansas City Chiefs. So stay tuned for that. We talk about that a little bit of factor crap later on tonight. Old Man River says, as me player, not a team player. He's a me player, not a team player. Let's just be honest, though, Old Man River. Name me a good secondary player that doesn't have an ego. Let me play devil's advocate. Let me play both sides of the fence here. Name me one good defensive player that has never had that me attitude. I'll wait. Are you going to say potentially Troy Polamalu, or are you going to go back to even like the 50s or like 60s, right? Because I know you're Old Man River. I know you're going to go back into the old knowledge bank back in the 60s and 70s. There was a guy by the name of Bob Jimmy Smith that he was not an ego case, but he was definitely the player's player. He was out there doing his thing. Any modern player from 2000 on, 2005 on, the last 20 years, name me one defensive secondary player that was elite that didn't have a me attitude. Here we go. Jack Tatum, Ryan Lott, Lawrence Taylor. I said the last 20 years. 2025 on, 2025 or 2005 on. Lawrence Taylor played what in the 80s, 70s, whatever it was. Ronnie Lott played in the 80s. Jack Tatum, I don't even know who Jack Tatum is. Steve Atwater. Once again, that's the 90s. We didn't have egos back in the day. We didn't have these I'm better than you type of situation days, right? Like, seriously. Steve Atwater, Ronnie, and let's be honest, Lawrence Taylor wasn't a secondary player, but he had the biggest of the biggest ego out of all of them. I'm telling you, any top 10, top 15 secondary player right now in the NFL is going to have the me attitude. Now, just because you have the me attitude doesn't mean that you are not a team player either. But when you have the me attitude and fuck everybody else type of situation, then we have a problem. Google Tatum. Get out of here. Wes says, I will take any help at this point. I will take any help for my New Orleans Saints at this point. Hell, bring back Jameis Winston. Hey, you know what, Wes? You might get your wish. Because let's just be honest. The New York Football Giants are sitting on a quarterback room that's very disgruntled right now, a.k.a. Russell Wilson taking his ball and going home. They could potentially trade Russell Wilson. Saints are going to be in a fire sale anyways. Maybe they can get a little money out of Spencer Rattler. Maybe they can get a little bit of money out of Alvin Kamara to my Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe they can Cam Jordan, get him out of town. Chase Young, get him out of town. Bring in a bunch of over-the-hill old heads to round out the season, get that first overall pick, then bada bing, bada boom, you got Arch Manning next season. Because we all know that's what you want. You want Arch Manning. ride his dad legacy. Old Man Rivers still naming players from the 90s. Rodney Harrison wasn't a me guy. Telling you, Old Man River, the last 20 years from 2005 on, give me a secondary person that is not a me guy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wes says Alvin Kamara isn't leaving. Stop that bad juju. Wes, stay around for Factor of Crap because it is coming. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming. But guys, what is coming right now is my Week 4 NFL Power Rankings. Now, this is a very fluid list. It changes from week to week to week. How I do my power rankings is the teams in the top 10 can beat all the teams below them. That is how I see my power rankings fitting in each and every week. And let's start off with the number 10 team this week, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they did get the first win of the week or of the season last week, beating the New York Giants 22-9. They moved to 1-2 on the season. They are unchanged from last week. They're sitting still at number 10. As the Kansas City Chiefs finally notched their first win of the season, I still don't like it feels like they still haven't played a complete game yet. We saw flashes in the third quarter of what this team can be, but the consistency is not there yet. The defense has had moments, but too many times they've let their opponents hang around, aka the New York Giants. Still, out of respect for the Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs, they're still inside the 10. Truthfully, the 23 other teams behind them are all going to probably lose to Kansas City Chiefs right now. That is why I still have them sitting at number 10. Obviously, people are upset about this. Obviously, people do not like the Kansas City Chiefs sitting at number 10. Buck, they're 1-2. Buck, they're 1-2. Buck, they're 1-2. All day in our comment section on Facebook.com/manhour NFL Talk. Why don't you have the Ravens up there? Why aren't the Ravens up there? Why aren't the Ravens? Guys, spoiler alert, the Ravens are not a top 10 team. Spoiler alert, the Bengals are not a top 10 team. Spoiler alert, the Arizona Cardinals are not a top 10 team. Because the Kansas City Chiefs right now can beat all three of those teams, hell, 23 other teams besides that, and they're going to prove it on Sunday. And Old Man River says, Kansas City? Laugh my ass off, he says. That's Jesus.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Old Man River, just because you're a pigskin pundit, I will respect your LMAO. Have you guys ever listened to LMAO band? Pretty good, by the way. LMAO, they got like party songs and whatnot, but whatever. Don't be laughing at my Kansas City Chiefs sitting at number 10. What you should be laughing about is the free fall that the Green Bay Packers took this week after their beat down loss to the Cleveland Browns, 13-10. Guys, the biggest issue right now for the Green Bay Packers is the mental lapses at the wrong time on defense. It's simple as that. Their defense can be stout. Their defense can be great, but they forget that they have to play against bad teams. The Packers' fall down this week is all about discipline. They looked over the Cleveland Browns this week, and they were looking to the Dallas Cowboys in this Week 4 matchup and overlooked the Browns. It's simple as that. The immaturity cost them, and the Green Bay Packers are still a very, very good team, but they're young, and those dumb mistakes will show up at the worst times, a.k.a. Week 3 versus the Cleveland Browns. If Jordan Love and company don't sharpen their focus, this kind of slip could keep happening, and they could find themselves out of the playoffs before they even know it. So coming in at number 9, guys, I do have the Green Bay Packers. And then coming in at number 8, unchanged from last week, are the Washington Commanders. Yes, they bid deep down the Las Vegas Raiders. They said, bring that ass here, boy. And they whooped that ass 41-24. The biggest issue on defense for the Washington Commanders is staying healthy. Their biggest issue period is staying healthy. Jalen Daniels missed last week. Yes, he missed it because he was injured. The Commanders are the oldest team in the league. One sleep wrong, you got to soar back for the next 2 weeks and you're out. Yes, the Commanders took care of business against a bad Las Vegas Raiders team. But let's be real. They are bad. They are the worst teams in the league. One of the worst teams in the league. The upside is real. The Washington roster, especially after pulling off their win with their backup quarterback, but the concerns remain. If Jaden Daniels can't stay healthy, the season will unravel fast. That's why I have them unchanged from last week, sitting at number 8. And then coming in at number 7 are the Detroit Lions. Yes, week 3, they did beat the Baltimore Ravens 38-30. But the biggest depth on their issue, or their biggest issue on this team, is depth. Depth in the pass rush. Yes, the Lions knocked off the Baltimore Ravens. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, though, right? That win is not quite as impressive as it looks, given who the Ravens are right now. The Ravens are a complete dumpster fire. The Chicago Bears are a complete dumpster fire. The Green Bay Packers, we hyped them up just a little bit too much. So really, the Detroit Lions are a solid team, but much like the Colts, they haven't faced an elite opponent yet or beat an elite opponent yet. Until they prove it against other competition, they'll stay at the spot sitting at number 7. I like them at number 7. Now, this is where things start to get a little wicked. Number 6, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, the Buccaneers are 3-0. Yes, the Buccaneers just beat the Jets 29-27. But, they are an injury-prone team right now. Mike Evans is injured again. He'll miss 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury again. And they're 3-0 because Baker Mayfield is playing out of his freaking mind the last 2 minutes of every game. Now, you still got to give credit where credit is due. Baker Mayfield is carrying his team and playing like an elite quarterback, like he's supposed to. However, the Buccaneers got a hell of a schedule coming up. They play the Commanders. They play the Eagles. They play a lot of undefeated teams, or like a lot of top-tier teams moving forward. So as I did move them up 2 spots from 8 to number 2, they are sitting at number 6. And will suck my dick, little bitch. How about that? And then coming in at number 5, the Indianapolis Colts. Moving to 3-0 on the season. They did beat the Houston Texans 17-10. The biggest issue that I see with the Indianapolis Colts is they still are kind of really untested, right? They beaten the Miami Dolphins, trash. They beaten the Denver Broncos, trash. They beaten the Houston Texans, trash. Now the Colts shot up to top 5 after 3 straight wins. Daniel Jones, this Daniel Jones system that he is leading is clicking with Shane Steichen. While they haven't faced truly great team yet, they'll get tested against the Rams this week. If they can hold up there, yes, this team is a real threat in the AFC. That's why I have them sitting at number 5 right now. And then coming in at number 4 are the San Francisco 49ers. They did beat the Arizona Cardinals 16-15 last week. The biggest issue for the 49ers is injuries. Injuries, and oh, by the way, they got more injuries. Nick Bosa is out for the year. Brock Purdy is still nursing that shoulder, toe, hamstring, shoulder. I don't know what. His whole body's hurt. But the Niners do make the biggest jump this week, but let's not sugarcoat it. The injuries are piling up. Despite all that, guys, this team has shown resilience and found ways to win. If they can get healthy, or matter of fact, just stay healthy from what they have now, they're a real threat in the NFC West. That is why I do like the San Francisco 49ers at number 4. And then coming in at number 3, up 2 spots from last week, are the LA Chargers. They did beat the Broncos 23-20. Now, one of the biggest issues with the Chargers as well is injuries. Year after year after year, the Chargers seem to be faced with some type of injury issue, right? Now, all of a sudden, Najee Harris is down with the torn Achilles, out for the year. Can Hampton handle the true workload moving forward? Every week, they're looking more and more complete, and they're climbing up the rankings because of it. That's why I have them sitting at number 3 this week. And then coming in at number 2, unchanged from last week, are the Philadelphia Eagles. I wanted to actually move them down this week, but I did not have any justification of moving other teams up above them. But they did beat the Rams last week 33-26. The biggest the biggest downfall for the Eagles that I could possibly see is that there's a little cracks in the armor starting to show, right? Yes, they did battle in the second half versus the LA Rams. However, that first half, they did not look great. They remain second because they still have Jalen Hurts. They still have Saquon Barkley. They still have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, which are all healthy. And when all 4 of these guys play together at the same time on the field, they have not lost a regular season game yet. Until they get knocked off, they're going to stay in the top 2 each and every week. And obviously coming in at number 1 are the Buffalo Bills. They did beat the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night, 31-21. They're unchanged, and they remain at the top. This is the most complete team in football. Josh Allen is cooking, and the defense looks balanced. And honestly, I don't see a real test coming anytime soon. The scariest part, they're not even playing perfect football yet. The defense is still trying to figure themselves out. Josh Allen is playing very, very passive, right? And until somebody proves otherwise, the Buffalo Bills are number 1. So, guys, there it is. My Week 4 NFL power rankings. Bills stay at number 1. Colts and 49ers jump to the top 5. And the Green Bay Packers take a tumble after a rough loss. But what do you guys think? Did I rank the Lions too low? Should the Chargers be number 1 over the Buffalo Bills? Let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, guys, Will Olson, it's all fun and games, brother. It is all fun and games until you are a complete dickhead. You know what? Alpha Rob says, number 1 sounds good to me. Of course, number 1 sounds good to you, Alpha Rob. Number 1 does sound good to you because that is your team, right? The Buffalo Bills are your team. On the flip side, we have a Chargers fan in our that is very active in our Facebook pages and our groups. He is a huge Chargers fan. I cannot think of his name right now. For some reason, his name is just slipped at my mind. But he is being very optimistic about his Chargers, right? He says, yes, the Chargers look good, but it's still the Chargers at the end of the day, right? He is just waiting for the collapse to happen. And is it going to happen, guys? Because when you look at the LA Chargers, right, history shows you year after year after year, they collapse. Last year, they started hot. It took them a week 18 win to get into the playoffs. Epic collapse. Injuries. Is this the year that we finally see the Chargers finally put it all together? I mean, I see Chargers fans. You guys are upset. I get it. But at the end of the day, you guys are the real deal. The Chargers are very, very hot. But guys, let's get into the Thursday night game. And that is the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Guys, this is a huge Thursday night matchup. Down there in Glendale, Arizona. Both teams are 2-1 and looking to grab early control of the NFC West. Now, ultimately, I do think the winner of this game will not get first seed in the NFC West, will not get second seed in the NFC West. The winner of this game will basically not be in the basement. That's just what it comes down to. However, the NFC West is looking a hell of a lot better than many of us thought, right? Just some quick notes heading into this game, right? The Seahawks are off to the hardest starts. Offense and defense are both clicking. The Cardinals just lost James Conner for the season, which is a massive loss in their offense. And Vegas has this one tight with the 1.5 edge to the Arizona Cardinals. So here's what we're breaking down, guys. We are breaking down the keys to the Seattle Seahawks, key to the Vikings, and who actually needs this win more. So when you look at the Seattle Seahawks, guys, this is a team that could be so up or so down, right? The first thing that they need to do is on defense, they need to make the Arizona Cardinals one-dimensional. They need to run the ball. They need to control the tempo. Without James Conner on the other sideline, Seattle must dominate the ground game. Kenneth Walker, Jack Charbonnet can wear Arizona down early and set up play action to make things easy for Sam Darnold. Next thing they do is they need to pressure Kyler Murray. When Kyler Murray is comfortable, he can carve up defenses. When Kyler Murray is not getting pressured, he's a top 10, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. When Kyler Murray is not getting pressured, he looks like an MVP. When he's pressured, he's a top 20. He's a below 20 or he's 20 to 25 ranked quarterback in the NFL. Stats don't lie. Force him off script and limit his scrambling lanes. You will win this game because let's be honest, he can't see over the line. The next key is the secondary has to stay disciplined. Arizona no longer has their stud receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. He's been gone for a while. Marvin Harrison Jr. has stepped into that role pretty nicely. He can be some weapons, but right now he's still a little bit unproven. Seattle cannot afford miscommunication. They got some banged up DBs on the injury report, and they need to have that next man up mentality to stay sharp. So, guys, what do you think? Can the Seahawks pull the upset over the Arizona Cardinals? It's an upset because they are a 1.5 point pick to lose this game. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Next up, guys, we do have the Arizona Cardinals, though. The Arizona Cardinals are a team that's built around Kyler Murray. With James Conner out, Trey Benson steps into the spotlight. But the Cardinals must lean heavier on Kyler Murray's arm and legs and look for them to really start to exploit Trey McBride as well. If that's Kyler Murray's safety value and Marvin Harrison Jr.'s deep threat, but they need to rely on quick dump passes for Kyler Murray moving forward. If the defense gets stops on early downs, make them nice and short, 4 and outs, 3 and outs, that type of situation, this will struggle. Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks are going to struggle. And then Budda Baker has to be the man, the myth, the legend. This veteran safety is the heartbeat of the defense with depth and with depth thin after losing Garrett Williams and LJ Connor to IR. Budda Baker must set the tone early, flying to the ball, making plays, and holding the defense together. But guys, who really needs this game more? When you look at the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals game, who needs this game more? If you are an Arizona Cardinals fan, I think you're thinking that you need this game more. The loss of James Conner sucks. It puts the season on the line. They need to win to show resilience. A home loss will fuel the narratives that the Cardinals are going to collapse when adversity hits. Now, if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, this is where things get kind of twisted, right? You think you need this game more because you need to make that road statement win. You're like, hey, we are the real deal. Stop sleeping over this. They are healthier, they're more balanced, and then we can prove that we can beat them at their own game. But who needs to win this game more, guys? My take is Arizona Cardinals need to win this game more. Seattle can absorb a loss and still climb back, but Arizona losing a game at home without James Conner can be devastating to the momentum. So, guys, who do you guys got in this Thursday night matchup? But it's time for a little thing like to call cold, hard facts. All right, guys, so it is time for Cold Hard Facts. If you've not seen this segment before, here's how it works. I'm going to lay down some straight facts. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just the real, undeniable truth about what's going on around the NFL world. When you're talking cold, hard facts, we're cutting through the noise and getting what is truth. What's happening, what's real. No room for debate here, guys. These are facts that you can take to the bank. So buckle up, because we're about to drop some knowledge. No overreaction, no exaggeration, just pure, cold, hard facts. Now let's dive into it. Guys, cold hard fact number 1 is Tom Brady is bending the rules. Tom Brady is bending the rules, and the NFL is letting him get away with it. What do you mean? Brady is one of the most. Brady is in one of the most unique positions in football. He is a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, and at the same time, he's a $375 million broadcaster for Fox Sports. That's 2 massive hats to wear, and no matter how the league spins, those roles are not separate. This week, Tom Brady has tried to clap back to his critics in his Do Your Job newsletter. He said only the paranoid and distrustful believe that there's conflict of interest, him being a broadcaster and an owner. But let's call it what it is. Brady is getting assets no other NFL owner has ever had. Tom Brady is getting access to players that no other NFL owner has had. Tom Brady is seeing behind the curtain that no other NFL owner can. Think about this, guys. Broadcasters sit in production meetings with coaches, quarterbacks, coordinators, and star players each and every week. They hear play concepts, tendencies, and injury updates straight from the source. And then Brady turns around, head back to the Raiders brass, and they're supposed to believe that there's never used that information? Please. And the optics, even worse. Week 2, Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers. Brady spotted in the booth wearing a headset during the game. The league rushed out the next day saying there's no violation of rules. But let's just be honest. If that was any other owner, if that was any other player, they would be slapped with a fine or a restriction. But for Tom Brady, golden boy Tom Brady, nope, it's business as usual. The NFL has even laxed its rules for him this year. He can't go to practices or the facilities, but now he can join production meetings remotely. That means Tom Brady is getting inside scoop. The NFL wants his golden boy in front and center, and they're giving him all the exceptions to make it happen. Meanwhile, Raiders general manager Sean Skypick admitted Brady has been more involved in the roster talks this season. Reports of even the new offensive coordinator Chip Kelly and him speak daily. Not even daily, like they speak hourly. They talk about game plans. They talk about film. They talk about injuries. They talk about everything in the NFL world. Pete Carroll tried to downplay that as well. The bottom line, guys, that he is the middle of all the football operations, also while covering league on the TV. Guys, the cold hard facts is this. It's not about paranoia. It's about privilege. Brady has been bending the rules his whole entire NFL career. And the NFL is letting it slide because he's Tom Brady. Any other owner, any other player, any other person would never have this kind of leeway. So, guys, let's settle this right now. Is Brady's dual role a flat-out conflict of interest, or is just the NFL protecting its golden boy? Drop your takes, drop your thoughts, drop your comments down below. This is a live, interactive show, guys. Do not forget to subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live, interactive show, so keep the comments rolling in. Let's get them in. And next up here on the Cold Hard Facts. The Cold Hard Facts is this, guys. The Cowboys will not let Micah Parsons get anywhere near Dak Prescott. Micah Parsons is not going to feel bad about sacking Dak Prescott because they would rather give up 8 sacks to anybody else before letting Micah Parsons get half a sack. Guys, this Sunday night, it's drama. It's drama in the big lead. Under the bright lights, Micah Parsons returns to the Dallas with his Green Bay Packers to face his old quarterback, Dak Prescott, his mentor, as they like to say. Parsons has told the Associated Press it's going to be painful to sack Dak Prescott because Dak was already his mentor and his friend. He said he's going to treat it like any other game, but let's not kid ourselves. It's just not another game. This is the Cowboys' former star pass rusher, the guy Jerry Jones shipped off 1 week before the season opener, coming back as the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL history. Guys, here's the truth. The Cowboys cannot afford to let Parsons make a statement sack on Dak Prescott in prime time. That would be humiliating. There would be every fan in AT&T Stadium watching their old defensive superstar celebrating the green goal while Dak Prescott pits himself off the turf. Guys, do not think for a second Dallas does not know that. They will throw double teams. They'll throw triple teams. They'll throw chips. They'll throw cut blocks. They'll throw everything they can to make sure Micah Parsons does not get a sack on Dak Prescott. If this means letting Rashad Gray or Preston Smith rack up the sack number, so let it be. The Cowboys will let the entire Packers front end eat before they allow Micah Parsons to embarrass their franchise quarterback on national television. And here's what makes it even spicier. Dallas defense has fallen apart since Parsons left. They're nearly giving up 400 yards per game, including the most passing yards in the NFL at 288 per game. They've allowed 30.7 points per game, 6th worst in the league. Micah was their identity, and without him, they've been exposed. So yes, Parsons can downplay it all he wants. He can say it's just another game all he wants. But the reality is this matchup was circled by Jerry Jones, the made his trade. The Packers are sitting at 2-1 and already look different with Parsons disrupting everything on defense. The Dallas Cowboys are 1-2, railing and desperate to prove they're still legit without him. But guys, the cold hard fact is simple. The Cowboys will sell out to keep Micah Parsons off Dak Prescott. They'll sacrifice protection elsewhere. They'll accept sacks from everybody else, but one thing they cannot allow is their ex-superstar wrecking their franchise quarterback under the primetime light. So, guys, the cold hard fact is that the Cowboys will not let Micah Parsons get anywhere near Dak Prescott on Sunday. That's just what it is. All right, guys, so the next up here on the cold hard facts are the Tyreek Hill trade rumors to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sound great on paper, even better in Madden, but in reality, he'd be the number 3 wide receiver in Kansas City right now, and his ego could not handle it. So, guys, we've heard all the rumors. We've talked about it. We've seen about it. We've seen everything start to fruition here on the Man Hour. Tyreek Hill to the Kansas City Chiefs. Tyreek Hill to the Stop it. The idea of Tyreek Hill going back to Kansas City Chiefs is buzzy again. And fans love the Najessia. Hill with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, dialing up deep slots, defense is terrified all over again. It's fun to imagine. On paper, incredible. In Madden, absolutely unstoppable. But let's talk reality. Let's talk reality. The Chiefs wide receiver room isn't what it used to be. The Chiefs wide receiver room isn't it's not what it was when Tyreek Hill was there. Rashid Rice has established himself as the number one guy. Xavier Worthy has established himself as the number two guy. And then there's Travis Kelce, there's Hollywood Brown, there's Thornton, there's other guys on this wide receiver core that definitely just makes the cheetah, Tyreek Hill, at best case scenario would be wide receiver number 3 on the Kansas City Chiefs. He'll get fewer looks, fewer touches, and would have to accept the being a part of a machine instead of the engine that drives it. And let's just be honest, Tyreek Hill doesn't exactly have that reputation of being humble when it comes to his role. His ego wouldn't accept anything about being third in line. It's first or last in Tyreek Hill's eyes. And that's not a knock on his talent. Tyreek Hill is still one of the most dynamic weapons in football, but this version of the Kansas City Chiefs is different. They've retooled, they've rebalanced, and they've rebuilt. They don't need Tyreek Hill to be a star. They need everybody to do their part. So the cold hard fact is simple as this. A Tyreek Hill return to Kansas City Chiefs would be great in fantasy land, but the reality is his role would be reduced. His personality doesn't fit that role. The Chiefs don't need him like he used to, and that's why the reunion makes no sense outside of headlines. Guys, the cold hard facts is that Tyreek Hill is not going back to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not going back to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not going back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, by the way, he's not going back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, those are the cold hard facts. All right, guys, so let's get into some of your comments here. Geo Max says, if Brady had an influence, Raiders' offensive line would be elite in the making. It's all hype. Brady's only influence is in his bank accounts. I'm not for sure if I agree with that, Geo Max. I'm not for sure if I truly agree with that, because when you look at Tom Brady, he definitely... would the old Mark Davis, without Tom Brady's influence, would Mark Davis have gone out and got a Pete Carroll? Would he have gone out and got Geno Smith? Would he have gone out and got Chip Kelly? I'm going to say no, no, no. Now, obviously, Tom Brady is a minority owner. Obviously, Tom Brady is not calling all of the shots. Obviously, Tom Brady is not a general manager by any stretch of the imagination. However, when you have a player of his status, right, Wes, you know this as well. When you have the history of winning, being successful, if you are not listening to those people that have been successful, that have gone there, that have done that, you at least have to listen to them a little bit. You have to turn at them, acknowledge them, listen to the words that are coming out of their mouth, and say, yes, you know what? Maybe you're right. Now, you might do something totally different. You might go out there and run 4 verts. You might go out there and run 4 slants, even though we said slant wheel post. But you know what? I heard you. I acknowledged you. And when I fail at that, I'm like, damn, that slant wheel vert might just work a little bit, right? Like, I mean, obviously, Mark Davis is listening to Tom Brady. Let me rephrase that. He's hearing Tom Brady. He's hearing what he has to say. And obviously, like, you have to build that trust. Like, you have to build that, is it camaraderie or whatever it is, right? Like, if I listen to one thing, and that one thing excels, and then I start listening to you a couple more things, and that couple more things excel, all of a sudden, you are 50% owner. All of a sudden, you are doing this, this, and this. So all you got to do is just put the crack in the door. Once that crack opens, give it a little bit of knowledge, give it a little bit of more knowledge, and then bada bing, bada boom, to the moon, baby. Because that's how winning happens. Until the Las Vegas Raiders accept Tom Brady getting insider information. Let's just call it what it is. Until they acknowledge getting insider information and putting it into play, it's going to be a long, long season, lifetime for a Las Vegas Raiders fan. Excuse me. Alpha Rob says, Hill not going back to Kansas City Chiefs. Media wants that because they want KC to score points again. Alpha Rob, you are exactly right. Because every time we talk about Patrick Mahomes, every time we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, every time we talk about, they're not putting up 50 points. Patrick Mahomes not throwing for 5,000 yards anymore. That was all great. That was all fun to watch. When did the Kansas City Chiefs win their first Super Bowl? After Tyreek Hill left. When did the Kansas City Chiefs start to be dominant? After Tyreek Hill left. When did the Kansas City Chiefs offense start to look like a pretty damn good, a very well-balanced offense? After Tyreek Hill left. Now, I'm not saying Tyreek Hill was a bad pickup by the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not saying he was not a top 10 receiver while he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. But was it 2018, 2017? What did the Kansas City Chiefs do with Tyreek Hill? Go long and F it. Tyreek Hill's down there somewhere, right? 9 times out of 10, the ball fell in his hand. 9 times out of 10, he found the end zone. 9 times out of 10, it turned into a great play. But when teams start to figure that out, too high safety. When teams start to realize that they couldn't nickel and dime you down the field, the Kansas City Chiefs were 3 and out. Now, as they should have beat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in 2019, if D Ford wouldn't line up offsides, yeah, still fuck you, D Ford, right? If he wouldn't have lined up offsides, we could maybe have a new, different narrative, right? But I want to say the 2020 Kansas City Chiefs were the most dangerous team because they did not have a true number one receiver until the postseason. It is what it is. It is what it is. Wes says, not wrong there. Hit home a little too much, somebody. Hit home a little too much. And he says 2 words for you. Eli Manning. Eli Manning is still getting the best of Tom Brady even after all these years. That's just tough. That is just tough. But guys, it is time for some fact or a little bit of crap. What music do I want today? I want this one, I think. All right, folks, as we're starting to wind down the show, we're not done quite yet. It's time for our final segment called Fact or Crap. Here's the deal, guys. I'm going to throw out some statements that are facts floating around the NFL world. And it's up to us to decide if it's a solid fact or if it's a whole lot of crap. We're going to separate the truth from the nonsense, cut through the hype, and see what's really worth believing. If it's legit, we all about it. If it's pure garbage, we're calling it out. So grab your popcorn because it's about to get real because it's time for a fact or a whole lot of crap. Let's find out. All right, guys, so the first fact or crap of the day, it's about Jets running back Breece Hall. Guys, fact or crap, the New York Jets are going to trade Breece Hall before the trade deadline. Oof, let's lay it out. Back in August of 2025, rumors started to swirl that the Jets could be dealing Breece Hall, releasing him, trading him, just get him off the books. Head coach Aaron Glenn did shut that all down, saying the plan was to use all 3 backs, Breece Hall, rookie Braylon Allen, and rookie Isaiah Davis. Fast forward 3 weeks into the season, offensive coordinator Tanner Eskren has definitely spread the ball around. Breece Hall is still the main guy. He still leads the team with 38 carries with 157 yards rushing. The problem? He hasn't found the end zone yet. The problem? Allen and Davis together have just 16 carries. The problem? Most of their other rushing attempts have come from Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. The problem? Breece Hall needs carries, needs touches to start to get in the groove. So here's the situation. The Jets are 0-3. They're at the bottom of the AFC East with the Miami Dolphins. Breece Hall is on the final year of his rookie deal. He's not their guy under this new regime. Let's just be honest about it. And his departure would free up touches for the rookies while bringing back value draft capital. And here's the kicker. Breece Hall isn't just running the ball. He's second on the team in targets with 13 catches, with targets with 13, with 8 of those being catches, and with 78 receiving yards. He's a dual threat that makes him even more attractive to teams that could need a spark at running back. Teams like the Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals, Kansas City Chiefs, LA Chargers, Commanders, Steelers, Vikings, if you name it. They need it. So, guys, fact or crap? If you're on the fact side, I see why. The Jets are winning, or the Jets are winless. Hall's contract is expiring, and they want to build around their rookies in the new regime. Trading him now gets value before he walks. But if you're on the crap side, I see it as well. Hall is literally the only consistent playmaker that you have. Trading him could tank the locker room, crush the offense, and kill Justin Fields' development if he doesn't find a reliable back behind him. But guys, my thoughts, I feel like this is a fact in the making. The Jets need a reset. Hall is talented, but the writing is on the wall. They'll make the move for him for draft picks, and teams need a backup. Teams will need a back just like him moving forward, aka the LA Chargers. But what do you guys think, guys? Fact or crap? Will the Jets trade Breece Hall? Drop your answers in the comments down below, and I will get the best ones on the air. Alpha Rob is saying, clearly put Buck. Crap. Crap because I want the Jets to suck still. Alpha Rob is the Buffalo Bills fan. He wants the Jets to suck for each and every year. And he knows if they trade Breece Hall, they'll probably get a second, third, maybe a couple fourth-round picks for him. There is value in a player like Breece Hall. There is a value in a player like Breece Hall. Let me tell you again, there's a value for a player like Breece Hall. He is going to get a third-round pick minimum. And that is what the Jets need. They need mid-draft picks to really build this team up for the year. And Alpha Rob is scared. That's why he's saying crap. Kaboom says the Dollar Tree has thumbnacks for sale. 10 for $5.58. Sweet. Wes says if they're smart, they would trade Hall for a 5th round pick. If I were the Chargers, if I were a team, so who has lost running backs in the last several weeks? The Cardinals have lost James Conner out for the season, torn Achilles, ACL. The Chargers have lost Najee Harris, torn Achilles. Who else has lost running backs? The Bears' running back situation just sucks in general. The Chiefs are looking for that explosive back. Isaiah Pacheco is not it. Kareem Hunt's not it. Smith is tittering back and forth. Teams will give a 3rd-round pick for a reliable running back. The value of a running back has gone up a lot. A lot, especially with Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, those type of players. Now, I'm not saying he's those type of players by any stretch of the imagination, but the value is now perceived as a running back as a more value position. 3rd, if not a 2nd-round pick, could get you there, right? Alpha Rob says, but it would be the Jets to trade one of their best players. Yeah. This is the problem, is the Jets should have signed him to a contract this offseason. Now, they're probably going to franchise tag him for the next couple years if they don't trade him and just get him pissed off, use him, abuse him, and wear him out. But we'll see. Geo Mex says, fact, I can see Harbaugh working out a deal. I agree. LA Chargers, they are, Jim Harbaugh historically does a 2-back system. Hampton is a good running back. However, I don't think Hampton is going to be that number 1 guy play after play after play. That's why Najee Harris was the man and Hampton was the 3rd down mix-up type of back. The Chargers are going to want a 2-back system. The Chargers are going to be heavy in the running back market. Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, those type of players. The Chargers are going to be active, I think. Very, very much so. Alpha Rob says they will get more if they trade Williams or Sauce Gardner. They're not trading any of those players, especially Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's only on his 3rd year. He's the first round pick. They still got him for 2 more years. Franchise tag him for 2 years. They got him 4 more years on a rookie deal. They're not trading out Sauce. I'm just saying. Henry can't even hold on to the ball. LMAO. That is tough. Because Derrick Henry, in his first 9 seasons in the 4th quarter, has only had 2 fumbles. So far this season, I think it's his 10th NFL season, he has had 2 fumbles in the 4th quarter in the first 3 games of the NFL season. That's tough. Got to talk first name options when you say in Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh for the Chargers, John Harbaugh for the Ravens. But next up, guys, here on the old factor crap, Mr. Alvin Kamara. Yes, put some respect on the name, but guys, factor crap. The New Orleans Saints should trade Alvin Kamara. Now, let's make it very, very clear. Let's make this crystal clear as we can put it. Alvin Kamara says he wants to be a Saint for life. Since 2017, he has been the heartbeat of the offense. A 5-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time knockout champion in the Pro Bowl, and a dual threat back who keeps defensive coordinators up at night. But he's now 30 years old. He's still productive, but he's 30 years old. But here's where the problem lies. The Saints are 0-3 and starting yet another rebuild in as many years. They've got quarterback questions again. The roster isn't strong enough to contend. And as good as Alvin Kamara is, he cannot carry his team to wins all by himself. It has been proven. This is where the trade talks come in. Moving Kamara would free up cap space, bring back draft capital, and let the Saints keep building for the future. His trade value isn't what it used to be, but contenders will call, especially a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, who are searching for consistency at running back to balance out their offense. Guys, imagine Alvin Kamara in Andy Reid's system with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. On paper, that is scary. So if you're on the fact side of this saying, yes, the Saints should trade this, this is why I think you're correct. The Saints are rebuilding. Alvin Kamara's prime is fading, and trading him now helps the team long term. Helps him for a chance to get a ring, helps you a chance to get a ring 3 or 4 years down the road. But if you're on the crap side, Alvin Kamara is still the best player on the Saints. Alvin Kamara is still the best weapon on the New Orleans Saints. And still beloved in New Orleans, and trading him sends the wrong message to the fan base already tired of losing. Plus, his value isn't that high. Is it worth moving your best player for mid-round picks? Maybe not so much. However, I feel like this is a fact. Not because Kamara isn't still elite, because the Saints need a reset. He deserves to play for a contender, and the Saints deserve to collect assets instead of holding on too long. But what do you guys think? Fact or crap? Should the Saints trade Alvin Kamara or not? Comment down below. Remember, this is a live, interactive show. Do not hit the subscribe button, guys. Hit the hype button and share this with a couple friends as well, because sharing is caring at the end of the day. Wes says stop. Stop it. Stop it, Ricky Bobby. Don't know what to do with my hands, Wes. If you want your Saints ever to be good, Wes, if you ever want your Saints to compete for a championship, let's take a step back. If you ever want your Saints to have a winning record again, if you ever want your Saints to compete in the NFC South ever again, this is a move that you have to make now, Wes. Yes, you may only get a 3rd-round pick for him or a 4th-round pick for him, maybe even a 5th-round pick. I'm not for sure what the value of Alvin Kamara is. Guys, let me know. What do you think the value for Alvin Kamara is in draft pick-wise? Sending him on his way, getting that 3rd-round pick, and then packaging a 3rd and a 1st and a 2nd-round pick to jump up to the number 1 overall pick in 2027. Because you're going to get the 1st overall pick in 2026. Might as well do it in 2027 as well, right? Then you're really building for the future. It's all because of Alvin Kamara. Let them go. Things that you love, sometimes, Wes, you gotta let go. You gotta let go. CJ says Henry is still a beast. He's still pretty good. Coach Moore, Coach who? What are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, Kellen Moore is the coach of the New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore will be the New Orleans Saints coach for at least the next 5-6 years minimum. I feel that the Saints are going to hang on to him as long as they possibly can. Because, Kellen Moore was the great hottest thing, right? But there's a reason why Kellen Moore did not get hired by the Dallas Cowboys as their head coach. There's a reason why the LA Chargers let him go mid-season as the office of coordinator. Now, he did lead a pretty potent Eagles offense. I'll give him that. But at the same time, Kellen Moore is still your head coach. Wes said, I agree. I hate to say that because I don't want to lose him, but it is true. I mean, Wes, I am with you. As a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I did not want to let Tyreek Hill go. When he walked away, or when he got traded, I was like, what? Like our lives are over. But look what happened. Addition by subtraction. That is how the Saints will potentially be good. But guys, here next up on the old Thatcher crap, Mr. Tony Pollard. The once great Tony Pollard for the Dallas Cowboys is now with the Tennessee Titans. The last couple seasons has been kind of up and down. Guys, Factor crap. Should the Tennessee Titans trade Tony Pollard? Because speaking of 0-3 teams, that's exactly where the Titans are sitting at right now. And let's be honest, this team is in a transitional period. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward is still learning the pro game. Head coach Brian Callahan just gave up his playing calling duties to a quarterback coach, Bro Hargree. It's chaos in Nashville. It's chaos in Nashville. Damn it, it's chaos in Nashville. But here's the kicker. Tony Pollard is quietly on pace for his career best rushing season ever. He's been steady veteran presence in the offense that desperately needs some stability. But his contract, it carries zero guaranteed money in 2026. That means the Tennessee Titans could move him and open up flexibility and a rebuild. There's only one catch. Tyjae Spears is still on IR. With that preseason ankle injury, he's expected to come back, but when he is he going to be capable of more than just a third down back? He could take on a full workload, so if that is true, the Titans do believe in Tyjae Spears. Tony Pollard suddenly becomes a trading chip that could bring back picks or depth in other areas. And let's just be honest, the Titans have a ton of holes to fill. But if you're on the fact side of this, I get where you're coming from. The Titans are rebuilding. They are 0-3. And moving Tony Pollard while his value is high makes sense. Here, he's not the part of the long-term future. He's not a part of the rebuild. And Tyjae Spears can carry the workload. He has done it before. However, on the flip side, trading Tony Pollard would send the wrong message to a young quarterback in the locker room that desperately needs leadership. He is producing at a high level. And without him, the offense could completely collapse. But guys, the facts are that I'm leaning toward fact. The Titans need to think about the future, not the present, the 3-4 years down the road. Tony Pollard is valuable right now, but Spears is in the back they need to build around. Cashing in Tony Pollard for the draft capital fits is where the franchise needs to be headed. Add depth some places or get the draft picks. It doesn't matter. Get Tony Pollard out of town. But what do you guys think? Fact or crap? Should the Titans trade Tony Pollard? Drop your answers in the comments down below, and we'll get to it. Wes says he was damn good at Dallas. I still believe in Will, but no, keep him. Crap. So Wes is saying get Tony Pollard out of town. He had a great couple years in Dallas. He was a rushing king in Dallas. Once Zeke left, he was the man, the myth, legend for one season. Got out of Dallas, got his out of Bills. Oh, you haven't heard from him since. The truth is, guys, Tony Pollard is still only 27 years old. Tony Pollard still has a little bit of tread on his wheel still. He could definitely make some noise on another team and be very, very effective. But we'll see what happens. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining us for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Join us tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time, as we talk more about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. But until then, guys, we out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's go.